Wait, before you ignore his behavior, listen carefully. If a man secretly thinks about you all day, he will unknowingly give these signs. The scary part? Most girls notice them too late. Maybe you are asking yourself one question every night before sleeping. Am I really on his mind? And today, we are going to talk about the signs that answer this question. Not fake signs, not movie-style fantasy, not toxic manipulation. Real emotional signs, simple human behavior. Because when a person truly thinks about you, it shows. Sometimes in words, sometimes in silence, sometimes in small actions nobody notices. And trust me, the heart always leaves clues. So if you have been confused, if you have been overthinking, if you are trying to understand his feelings without directly asking him, then this video is for you. Watch till the end, because the last sign is the strongest one, and maybe, after this video, your confusion will finally end. Let's begin. Sign 1. He finds reasons to contact you. When someone is constantly thinking about you, staying away becomes difficult. Even if he is busy, even if he pretends to be normal, even if he tries to control his emotions, his mind keeps coming back to you. That is why he finds random reasons to contact you. Maybe he sends a meme. Maybe he replies to your old story. Maybe he asks something he could easily search on Google. The reason is not important. You are. Sometimes a man does not know how to say, "I miss you," so instead he says, "Did you eat?" or "Are you awake?" or "I saw this and remembered you." These small messages carry hidden emotions, especially when they happen repeatedly. Think about it. Nobody keeps texting a person they never think about. People invest time where their emotions go, and if his attention naturally comes back to you again and again, there's a big chance you are living in his mind rent-free. Now, listen carefully. A lot of girls ignore this sign because they expect dramatic confessions, but real feelings are often hidden inside ordinary moments. The random text, the unnecessary call, the excuse to continue the conversation. These things happen because emotionally he feels connected to you, and when someone feels emotionally connected, they look for emotional presence. That means they want to feel close to you even when there's no reason. That is powerful. Sign 2. He remembers small details about you. This sign is deep, very deep, because people only remember details that emotionally touch them. Maybe you once mentioned your favorite chocolate, and after weeks, he remembers it. Maybe you told him about your childhood fear, and months later, he still brings it up carefully. Maybe he remembers your important dates, your mood changes, your habits, even your random sentences. Do you know why? Because your words stay in his mind. When a person likes you casually, they remember the surface. But when a person constantly thinks about you, they remember the soul. Your little expressions, your emotional reactions, your voice, your energy. And the truth is, memory follows emotion. The stronger the emotional connection, the stronger the memory becomes. That is why he notices things others ignore. He notices when your smile feels fake. He notices when your energy changes. He notices when something is wrong even when you say, "I'm fine." Because mentally and emotionally, he pays attention to you. And attention is love in silent form. Never forget that. Sometimes people say, if he really cared, he would say it directly. But not everyone expresses feelings with words. Some people express feelings through attention, and attention is one of the clearest signs that you are important in someone's mind. Sign 3. He watches you quietly. Now this sign is interesting because many times a man who thinks about you a lot becomes emotionally observant. He watches quietly, not in a creepy way, but in a caring way. He notices your online status. He checks your stories quickly. He pays attention to your captions. He suddenly asks, "Everything okay?" even when you did not directly say anything. Why? Because his mind naturally stays connected to your emotional world. Sometimes he may not even text, but he watches. And silence does not always mean absence. Sometimes silence means fear. fear of rejection, fear of looking weak, fear of expressing too much. But despite all that, he still keeps checking on you emotionally. That means something. A person who truly does not care becomes emotionally disconnected. They stop noticing, they stop checking, they stop paying attention. But someone who constantly thinks about you, they remain emotionally aware, even from distance. And yes, sometimes men hide emotions better than women, but hidden emotions still create visible behavior. That is why actions matter more than words, always. Sign 4. He gets jealous in small ways. Jealousy is not always toxic. Healthy jealousy simply means this person matters to me emotionally. Now listen carefully. If he reacts differently when another guy gets close to you, that reaction reveals emotional attachment. Maybe he becomes silent. Maybe he changes his tone. Maybe he suddenly asks many questions. Maybe he jokes about it. But inside, his emotions are reacting because your attention matters to him. And people do not become emotionally protective over someone they never think about. This does not mean extreme possessiveness. That is unhealthy. We're talking about subtle emotional discomfort, the kind that appears naturally when feelings exist. Sometimes he may pretend not to care, but emotions leak through behavior. The eyes, the voice, the energy. Human emotions are difficult to hide completely, and when someone constantly thinks about you, they unconsciously fear losing your emotional connection. That fear creates jealousy, even in small moments. And honestly, jealousy often exposes feelings before confession does. Sign 5. You cross his mind during important moments. This sign is beautiful, very beautiful. When someone truly stays on your mind, you naturally want to share moments with them. Good moments, bad moments, funny moments, stressful moments. So if he thinks about you during important situations, your place in his heart is special. Maybe something exciting happens and you're the first person he texts. Maybe he feels low and somehow he comes to you. Maybe he sees something beautiful and instantly thinks she would love this. That is emotional attachment. Your presence exists in his daily life, and this matters more than people realize, because in today's world, everyone is busy, everyone has pressure, everyone has distractions. Yet despite all that, if his mind still returns to you naturally, then your emotional impact on him is real. You became part of his emotional routine, and once someone becomes part of your emotional routine, forgetting them becomes difficult, very difficult. Sign 6. He tries to stay in your life. Sometimes feelings are not loud. Sometimes love does not scream. Sometimes it simply stays. That is why one of the strongest signs is consistency. A man who constantly thinks about you tries to stay connected, even after fights, even after misunderstandings, even after distance. He may get angry, he may become confused, he may need space, but emotionally he does not fully disappear because his mind keeps returning to you. And the truth is, people fight for emotional connections that matter. They try, maybe imperfectly, maybe awkwardly, maybe emotionally immature, but they try. If someone truly does not care, effort disappears completely. No messages, no checking, no emotional energy, nothing. But when someone keeps finding ways to remain in your world, there is emotional attachment behind it, real attachment. And attachment grows from repeated thoughts and emotional investment. That is why emotionally connected people struggle to leave each other completely. The heart remembers what the mind cannot forget. Sign 7. He brings up old memories. This sign hits differently because memories are emotional treasures. When a man often talks about old moments with you, it means those moments still live inside him. Maybe he says, "Remember that day?" Maybe he laughs about an old joke. Maybe he remembers your first conversation. Maybe he reminds you about something tiny that happened months ago. Why does this happen? because emotionally meaningful memories replay in the mind again and again. And when someone replays memories with you, it means you emotionally affected them a lot. People do not revisit emotionally empty moments. They revisit feelings. That is why songs remind us of people. That is why places feel emotional. That is why old chats become impossible to delete. Emotion creates memory, and memory keeps people alive inside the heart. So if he often revisits moments connected to you, then yes, there is a strong chance you stay in his mind more than you realize. Sign 8. He notices your absence. This sign is powerful because absence reveals emotional value. When you stop talking for some time, does he react? Does he ask where you went? Does he suddenly become more active? Does he check on you? Because when someone is used to your emotional presence, your absence feels heavy. The silence becomes noticeable. And people only notice absence when presence matters. Read that again. People only notice absence when presence matters. If he becomes restless when you pull away emotionally, your place in his mind is important. Maybe he does not directly say, "I missed you," but his behavior says it. And honestly, actions reveal emotions more honestly than words do. Many people say beautiful things without real feelings, but behavior is difficult to fake for long. That is why emotional patterns matter, consistency matters, effort matters, attention matters. And when someone reacts strongly to your absence, it means your energy became emotionally valuable to them. Sign 9. He talks about the future with you in it. Now, this sign is extremely important because the future reveals emotional intention. If a man naturally includes you in his future plans, then mentally he already imagines you staying in his life. Maybe he says, "We should go there someday," or "You would love this place," or "When we do this." Notice the language carefully. We. That small word carries emotional meaning. It shows connection, partnership, presence. People imagine the future with those who emotionally occupy their mind. And if your existence naturally appears in his future imagination, then emotionally he has already created space for you. This is not accidental. The human mind protects emotional priorities. That is why people plan around what matters to them. And when he unknowingly places you inside future situations, it often means his heart already feels attached, deeply attached. Sign 10. He opens up emotionally. Now, this sign is rare, especially for men, because many men are taught to hide emotions, to stay strong, to avoid vulnerability, to protect their heart. So when a man emotionally opens up to you, it means trust exists, and trust does not grow without emotional thinking. If he shares fears with you, if he talks about stress, if he tells you things he tells nobody else, then emotionally you became a safe place in his mind. That is huge. People do not emotionally expose themselves to someone unimportant. Vulnerability requires emotional connection, and emotional connection grows through consistent mental presence. In simple words, he thinks about you a lot, because emotionally, your opinion matters to him. Your presence comforts him. Your energy feels safe, and safety creates attachment, real attachment. He randomly checks on you. Now, this may seem simple, but emotionally, it means a lot. When someone suddenly asks, "How are you?" without any reason, it usually means you crossed their mind. Maybe he was busy, maybe he was working, maybe he was outside with friends, yet somehow your thought entered his mind, and emotionally he felt the urge to reach out. That is not random. That is emotional connection, especially when it happens consistently, not once, not twice, but repeatedly. People naturally move toward what emotionally matters to them, and if he keeps returning to you emotionally, there is a reason. Your presence affects him. Never underestimate simple care. In today's world, genuine emotional care is rare. Very rare. That is why small check-ins often carry deep feelings. Sign 11. He notices changes in you. This sign is emotional intelligence mixed with emotional attachment. When a man constantly thinks about you, he becomes emotionally tuned to you. That means he notices changes quickly. Your tone, your mood, your energy, your silence. Even if everyone else thinks you are okay, he senses something different. Why? Because emotionally focused people pay attention deeply. They study your patterns unconsciously. That is why he notices when your smile is smaller, when your replies become dry, when your excitement disappears. And sometimes this surprises people. They ask, "How did you know something was wrong?" The answer is simple: emotional attention. When someone mentally carries you inside their heart, they become sensitive to your emotional state. That is why genuine emotional connection feels comforting. You feel seen, and being truly seen is one of the rarest feelings in this world. He misses you even after short distance. You know feelings are real when even small distance feels noticeable. If a few hours without talking already makes him check on you, there is emotional attachment. Because emotionally connected people crave presence, not in a toxic way, in a human way. The mind becomes used to someone's energy, someone's voice, someone's attention, and once that emotional routine breaks, the heart notices. Maybe he says, "You disappeared today." Maybe he jokes, "Forgot me already?" Maybe he suddenly becomes more caring after silence. These are emotional signals, subtle but real. And honestly, people reveal their feelings most during absence. Presence is normal. Absence reveals emotional dependence. That is why distance often exposes hidden emotions. Sign 12. He tries to impress you. This sign can be cute. Very cute. When a man constantly thinks about you, your opinion becomes emotionally important. That is why he tries to impress you. Maybe through achievements, maybe through humor, maybe through appearance, maybe through effort. He wants your attention, your admiration, your validation. Not because he is weak, but because emotionally you matter. Human beings naturally seek appreciation from people they emotionally value. That is why he feels happy when you praise him and disappointed when you ignore his effort. Your reactions emotionally affect him, which means your place in his mind is already strong. Think about it. If someone means nothing to us, their opinion changes nothing. But when someone matters emotionally, even one compliment feels special. One rejection hurts. One smile heals. That emotional impact reveals connection. Sign 13. He comes back after pulling away. This is one of the biggest emotional signs. Sometimes people pull away because they're confused, or scared, or emotionally overwhelmed. But if he keeps coming back emotionally, your presence still lives in his mind. Because emotionally detached people move on permanently. They do not return repeatedly. But emotionally attached people struggle to disconnect fully. The mind keeps revisiting the connection, the memories, the conversations, the comfort. That emotional pull brings them back. Now, listen carefully. This does not mean accepting unhealthy behavior. Consistency and respect still matter. But emotionally speaking, repeated return often reveals unresolved feelings because the heart goes where emotional attachment exists, always. Your intuition feels it. Now, this part is difficult to explain logically, but many people understand it emotionally. Sometimes you simply feel when someone is thinking about you, not magically, emotionally. You notice the energy, the timing, the emotional pull, the connection. And often, intuition is built from subconscious observation. Your heart notices patterns your conscious mind ignores. The way he looks at you, the way he reacts, the consistency, the attention, all these things create emotional understanding. That is why, deep down, you already know. Sometimes people only watch videos like this because they want confirmation for what their heart already feels. And honestly, that is okay. Humans seek emotional reassurance, especially when feelings are involved. Sign 14. He makes time for you. This sign is extremely important because everybody is busy, but people make time for what emotionally matters. Read that slowly. People make time for what emotionally matters. If he checks on you despite stress, if he talks to you despite exhaustion, if he includes you despite pressure, then emotionally you are important in his world. Effort reveals priorities, not empty promises. And when someone constantly thinks about you, spending time with you feels emotionally rewarding, comforting, exciting, peaceful. That is why emotionally attached people naturally create space for each other, even in busy lives, because emotional connection becomes a need, not just an option. Sign 15. He reacts emotionally to your pain. One of the clearest signs that you live in someone's heart is emotional empathy. When your pain affects him emotionally, there is connection. If you cry and he becomes quiet, if you struggle and he becomes worried, if you feel low and he tries to help, then your emotions matter to him deeply. And emotions only affect us strongly when attachment exists. That is why emotionally connected people feel each other's pain. Not perfectly, but sincerely, because care creates emotional sensitivity, and emotional sensitivity comes from mental and emotional closeness. In simple words, he thinks about you, he cares about you, and your emotional state affects his own. That is not casual, that is meaningful. He looks at you differently. Eyes reveal emotions words hide, always. When a man constantly thinks about you, the way he looks at you changes. There is softness, attention, curiosity, warmth. Sometimes he stares without realizing. Sometimes he smiles unconsciously. Sometimes his eyes search for you in crowded places, because emotionally, his focus naturally moves toward you. Humans pay visual attention to emotional priorities. That is psychology. And when someone emotionally values you, their eyes reveal it before their mouth does. That is why eye contact feels powerful, because emotions travel silently, and some feelings become impossible to hide. He tries to understand you deeply. Casual attraction focuses on appearance, but emotional attachment focuses on understanding. If he asks deep questions, if he wants to know your fears, your dreams, your past, your emotional world, then he is emotionally invested, because people only study what matters to them, and understanding someone deeply requires emotional effort. He wants to know what hurts you, what heals you, what makes you smile, what makes you feel safe. Why? Because mentally and emotionally, you became important, and emotionally important people naturally stay in our thoughts. So, what does all this mean? It means emotions are rarely hidden completely. When someone constantly thinks about you, their behavior changes, their attention changes, their energy changes, their effort changes, because the heart always leaves clues. Now listen carefully. Do not become obsessed with signs. Do not lose yourself trying to read every message, every emoji, every delay, because real connection should bring peace, not constant anxiety. The right person will not only think about you, they will value you, respect you, protect your feelings, and make their care visible through consistent actions. That is real emotional connection. And if many signs from this video match your situation, then yes, there is a strong chance you are on his mind, more than you know. Maybe he misses you quietly. Maybe he cares silently. Maybe he thinks about you during random moments. Maybe your name lives inside his heart in ways he cannot explain. Because sometimes the deepest feelings are the hardest to say, and sometimes love speaks first through actions, not words. If this video touched your heart, comment below with one word, felt, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep emotional videos. See you in the next video. Take care of your heart.